It's March 8th, JLD here, and welcome to MSTR Today and the Treasury Titans. Nothing in this video is financial advice. And Michael Saylor wants us to know that the second century begins. It has begun. This is the 102nd purchase of strategy when it comes to Bitcoin. And man, is it going to be a solid purchase. It's going to be the biggest stretch purchase ever based off the stretch ATM of somewhere around 4,000 to 4,500 Bitcoin. It'll be in that range, probably somewhere in the middle there. And then I'm expecting MSTR to at least double that, maybe even a little bit more. Again, my number is 11,356. There was a lot of great guesses in the comment section yesterday. If you missed out guessing in the comment section yesterday, go ahead and drop in what your guess is for tomorrow's announcement. 11,356 is my total guess. Could be more, could be less. I might be exactly right. But no matter what happens, the second century has begun. And to me, again, just like a lot of Michael Saylor's words, he chooses them very wisely. I mean, this is a new era. This is like a new era of stretch finding its groove, just being in a place where it's going to be able to ATM 10 days a month, 11 days a month, 12 days a month. I mean, we'll see what happens come a week from tomorrow when the snapshot's over. And, usually stretch drops $1 or $2 at that point, sometimes even more depending on Bitcoin sentiments. How long is it going to drop after the snapshot when people sell to take their money elsewhere for a couple weeks before coming back to stretch to get the next snapshot? We'll see. Time will tell. But at the end of the day, relentless buying pressure has been coming in. We have begun a new era. The second century has begun. Stretch is absolutely en fuego. Stretch is absolutely on fire. And I just don't see anything disrupting this flow except for a potential massive drawdown in Bitcoin. It wouldn't just be a little drawdown. It would have to be a massive drawdown in Bitcoin to really disrupt this flow. Because if sentiment improves with Bitcoin, if Bitcoin price starts pumping and starts improving, wow, watch out because we are off to the races. Okay, now we're moving on to May, who just wants to comment that the relentless purchasing of Bitcoin means up is the only long-term possibility. Who knows what the short or midterm possibilities are? It's either up or down, but the long-term it's up is the only possibility. And Zinc says, thousands of us around the world wait for this announcement every Sunday. I'm predicting more than 250 million raised from Stretch, which will be at least 4,000 plus Bitcoin. If we account for the MSTR ATM, then we could perhaps double it. Either way, it's going to be pretty big. And I'm going to say, Zinks, just throw a number out there. Give us a number. What do you think? I'm going on record, 11,356. Let's have some fun. I mean, come on. We know there's over 4,000 Stretch ATM. We know how to go to stretch.live. So let's get a little more detailed here. Chris says, I'm expecting record numbers from Stretch tomorrow. And I wrote, same in a record week. Because, I mean, it's going to be a big week in all likelihood. Again, the only thing I think that could stop this week from being big, smaller than last week, or I should say, again, the only thing that I think could stop this coming week from being bigger than last week would be a massive drawdown in Bitcoin, which we all know the world's crazy right now. So who knows what's going to happen? But man, I'm loving it. I really am. Okay. The Bitcoin strategy says, Ford didn't invent the automobile. Rockefeller didn't invent oil. They refined it and scaled it for the world. Saylor's doing the same thing with Bitcoin. Bitcoin is the commodity. Strategy is the refinery. And look at this. Strategy is the standard oil of Bitcoin. Inputs crude oil. What do? At low temp, you got petroleum, then all the way down to heating oil, diesel, jet fuel, and gasoline down at high temp. That's the output. That's the refined oil. Inputs, raw Bitcoin. Low vol, dividends. We're talking like Stretch, basically. And then as you go higher, convertible bonds, which, by the way, will be gone from Stretch's balance sheet in around 4 to 5 years. Equity, leverage ETFs, and then, of course, options. So I'm pretty heavy on 1 and 3 here. Of course, I have 0 convertible bonds and never will, and those are going to be gone soon. And then, the options, there's people that really have taken the time to understand that game, and I commend them for that. But at this day and age, I'm just happy holding the equity for a long time, because strategy is a Bitcoin refinery. You've got the inputs, raw Bitcoin, and then you've got strategy, stretch, stride, strike, strife, converts, MSTR, ETFs, options, all the way through. And then strategy has made a strategic decision to securitize Bitcoin as an asset class. Michael Saylor, let's flippin' go. We got CJ in the house. The beauty of the strategy business model is that scale doesn't diminish the return potential. The return potential at 50 billion is the same as it was at 5 billion and will be the same at 500 billion. 1% of the TAM, total addressable market, is just 5 trillion. MSTR and stretch. What else do you need? I don't know. I honestly don't. And CJ says credit layers on top of Bitcoin are finally maturing. The combination of stretch and Bitcoin backed loans is going to trigger the short squeeze of the decade. Speaking of which, APYX wants us to know that they are one step closer to becoming the largest stretch holder. On-chain digital credit is taking over. A new era of stablecoins has begun, and APYX has $40 million locked in stretch. And you think they're slowing down? No, they're only speeding up. And Mike Alford says the first Bitcoin bull market since 2021 started on February 6, 2026. Strap in. The next bull market could be more like 2017. Do not F it up. All right, let's see if Mike is right. Only time will tell, but I will tell you what. Michael Saylor has a great clip coming at you. And as soon as we get back from thanking our sponsors, we will dive right in. If you're building in the Bitcoin era, structure matters. Treasury strategy, capital allocation, entity structure, it all starts with a solid foundation. And when you're ready to form your business the right way, Northwest Registered Agent helps you do more than just file paperwork. With Northwest, you don't just create an LLC. You build a complete business identity from day one. That means registered agent service, a real business address, operating agreement, domain, website, professional email, phone number, and built-in privacy. No juggling vendors, no sketchy upsells, no selling your data. They've been doing this for nearly 30 years, and they're the largest registered agent and LLC service in the US with over 1,500 corporate guides, real humans who know your local laws and actually pick up the phone. Northwest handles everything in-house, which means fewer hands on your data and privacy by default for every customer. Don't pay hundreds or thousands of dollars for what you can get from Northwest for free. Visit northwestregisteredagent.com/JLD free and start using free resources to build something amazing. Get more with Northwest Registered Agent at northwestregisteredagent.com/JLD free.
All of that brings arbitrageurs who think that someone mispriced something and they want to sell that to buy that and hold that and then get rid of that. And every guy with a Bloomberg that thinks he's smarter than you are, and maybe he is and maybe he isn't, but it doesn't matter, right? I mean, because they're bringing capital to the party. The entire thing is just a massive reflexive flywheel, because the more stretch we sell, the more Bitcoin goes up in price. The more stretch we sell, the more MSTR capital grows. As capital and MSTR grows, liquidity grows, we raise more equity capital, the Bitcoin price goes up. So we're driving MSTR, driving Bitcoin, driving stretch, and of course, soon to be driving this entire ecosystem of digital money and digital yield. Everybody that's upstream to us, levered to Bitcoin, is in the ecosystem. Everybody downstream to us, levered to stretches in the ecosystem. Who are we competing with? None of those people. We're competing with under-collateralized junk bond issuers that are going out of business in 6 months, that are offering you 5% yield, and somebody's buying that garbage, right? And so, yeah, at some point, really distressed credit issuers or illiquid private credit, they will find it harder. Look, now, nobody's going to stop buying T-bills because of this stuff. You don't got to worry about that. We're not competing with the U.S. government. We're competing with the marginal borrowers issuing illiquid, low-yielding, tax-inefficient junk bonds, high-yield bonds, private credit, and other types of garbagey credit instruments. and then the ones that sell things over the counter that you can't legally buy. And we're actually making it available to you. So who wins? The world wins. The digital asset economy wins. Everybody wins. And how big is the market? Well, there's $300 trillion of garbagey credit right now. And it's probably going to double over the next 10 years. So if you can get 5% or 10% of it, there's a $50, $60 trillion opportunity. What do we need? We need you. We need you to go tell people that this is an opportunity for the CFO or the treasurer. Tell your retired dad that maybe this is an opportunity to put in the retirement account. Talk to your credit investors, talk to digital assets investors. If you run a business, think about getting rich off of this. Get the first license to sell digital money in Poland or the UK or France or the UAE or Japan or Brazil, or put it on a crypto network or put it in an ETF, right? What is the thing that everybody in the human race wants more of? Money. It's the universal utilitarian product. Everybody wants more money. So I admonish all of you to go out and make some money. Either make it for yourself or make it for your customers or make it for your friends and family. And do it because it's the right thing to do. And it could never be done before. And 30 years from now, everybody will have already done it. Thank you for your time today and for your support. What's the second best? There is no second best.